What's up, guys? Welcome back to Whetto's World. It's your boy Whetto, and on today's shows, I've got Dry Point Distilleries. So we got my man Chris in here, and he's going to talk to you guys about his hustle and what he's got going on here in Las Cruces. Of course, we're going to shout out Cane's, Chicken, what combo you picking? Appreciate the sponsorship on that one. With that, guys, we're going to hit you with a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to dive into the hustle. All right, guys, welcome back. It's your boy Whetto. Let's figure this thing out. All right, my man, Mr. Chris, what is going on with you, and what is Dry Point Distilleries?
Well, we're a small distillery down in Mesilla. We make gin, vodka, whiskey, and brandy. We have a cocktail bar. We have a huge cocktail program going on, and we just got a license that allows us to sell beer and wine. And then I've got a guy who's making a bunch of different food. He's got wood fire, or I guess it's like a little pizza oven, and he's got a taco truck, so he does a whole bunch of different.
Damn, so he's doing a bunch of work out there too. So you're just kind of molding it all together and then pushing it out.
Right.
Now, I had on this last episode, I had the rye whiskey. That was phenomenal. That's right here on the table with us, the 6-shooter. Go get you some of this. Now, how did all this start? I've read that it was you and your dad, correct?
Right. So I guess it's probably about 7 years now. We had some time on our hands and kind of were interested in learning something new and doing something different. So got a still and started just kind of playing around. We like drinking whiskey. We weren't, super aficionados or anything, but it was just something interesting to give a try. And, that kind of turned into trying a bunch of different brandies. So brandy's a fruit-based spirit.
Okay.
So, everybody's got like an apple tree or an apricot tree, pomegranate in their yard. And so there's tons of fruit, and we're fermenting it, turning that into different brandies. And that was kind of where we got really into fermentation, distillation, experimentation, all of these, just trying to make anything that was sweet. We want to try to make it into a booze.
Yeah, more like an experimental thing. Like, let's see what this tastes like. Yeah.
And so we did like prickly pears. I did honey mesquite. We did, all sorts of different fruits around. And just had a really good time with it, and started looking at some of the licensing and realized it wasn't that big of a deal ultimately. And there was nothing like that in this valley, no distilleries around. Right. Everything was, up in Albuquerque, and so, we pulled the trigger and went for it.
Hell yeah. Was it with like the processing of like getting your permits and all your legal stuff? It wasn't like a slew of things to do, or is it just kind of like one thing at a time?
No, it's pretty involved, but when we started really kind of breaking it apart, there's these huge checklists. You have to get all these documentation, all these documents, right. Put them in order, submitting them to this person, that person, this agency, all the, you're dealing with the federal government, you're dealing with the state government, local municipality as well. Right. But it's like, once we were checking these boxes off, it was, more and more possible to do it. So
made it a lot easier then?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, it's still, you gotta, know some legalese and kind of understand the way that, big bureaucracies work.
Right. The process of it is can be lengthy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's needed for most, because if not, everyone would be going crazy doing it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that it's pretty tight. You can't distill at home legally because there's just a bunch of different things that could go wrong, and you can hurt yourself or hurt other people.
Or other people, yeah, most definitely. So how far from it is like from moonshine kind of thing? Because I've only seen what's on like HDTV or whatever.
Right. So that whole moonshine, I guess the definition of moonshine is any illicit spirits that aren't, you don't pay federal or state tax on.
Oh, so that's just under the table.
Moonshine, 100% on the table. So all those TV shows, I think they probably ham it up quite a bit, but there's a long history of home distilling in this country. So certainly there's a lot of people out there doing it.
Getting it under the table for sure. Nothing wrong with that, but just also be careful how you do it. Right. That hammer is probably heavy when it falls on you. Sure. So with making brandies and gin, you're using local ingredients, and how do you blend these things together? How does that work?
Well, so we first started experimenting with a lot of local ingredients, but as I was scaling it up, to make a labeling run, a bottling run of say apple whiskey or apple brandy, I would need thousands of pounds of apples. And so what I do is, with my gin, I try to get as many local botanicals that I can use in there. Rosemary, coriander are, two main ones that we use in our gin. But we use a lot of local ingredients in our cocktails. And so we got this, really well developed cocktail program. I'm real proud of it. I got great bartenders and a great mixologist. Everyone's coming up with new ideas and new cocktails almost every week. So we use a lot of local seasonal fruit and vegetables, and try to integrate that into our cocktails. We make different simple syrups with local ingredients, and so that's where we really flex the whole, local, drink local. Our kind of slogan is farm to liver. We're taking it straight out of the farm and putting it down your throat.
There we go. Yeah, sip it up, man.
Yeah.
So do you shop at like the farmer's market a lot, or?
We bought some stuff at farmer's market. What I try to do is go straight to the suppliers, and so I've worked directly with the farmers that are growing the stuff to buy, my coriander seed from. We buy a lot of produce from Pharmacia. There's another local business down in Mesilla. It's like a farm to market sort of store, and we get some of our produce from them. They do some ordering for stuff that's not around here, citrus we get through them, but we also buy, watermelons when they're in, or, different herbs, lavender, things like that to add into our cocktails, all from Pharmacia.
So it sounds like it's pretty in depth, as much as whatever kind of ingredient you can almost come up with, you can put it together to make a brandy of some sort.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I guess going back to local ingredients, our brandy, we got 3 different brandies, and the wine was grown and smashed and fermented and turned into wine just 4 miles south of our distillery in Mesilla. So Rio Grande Vineyard and Winery. And so that's hyper local. 4 miles away it was grown and turned into wine, and then we take that wine, turn it into brandy, and that's what we got at our bar right now.
Hell yeah, that's so cool, man, that you can incorporate all that together. Now with making these drinks, I'm sure there's tons of tools. Like I've read about the barrels, you got the smoke that you put in those.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the difference in the sizes help them age, correct? How does that work?
Yeah, so the distillery's got a bunch of tools to kind of, affect the flavors and come up with the components that we want. And so of course I got my stills that I'm, looking at, and I've gotten pretty in tune with the stills and the way, my products run through them. And that, determines a lot of the flavor there. But then, our aged products, they go into barrels, and, there's no white oak forest in New Mexico. So I buy barrels from Minnesota. They come down here, and I tell them what char I want the inside, so I can, impart different flavors that way. And then we reuse some of those barrels. So I just released a new product. It's a barrel-aged gin, which is sort of a new thing on the market. Okay. The feds just changed the rules to allow that to be possible. So I use my brandy barrels that I age my brandy in, and I put the gin in there, and so it kind of adds a new component to gin. So it's
give it a little different taste to a traditional drink. That's cool, man.
For sure.
And now this, what kind of facility is this? Like, how big of a facility are you working? Is it more an in-house kind of thing, or? Yeah,
you hear of microbreweries, and now there's micro distilleries. We're a nano distillery. We are small. My distillery is about 1,000 square feet, and I am just bursting at the seams. So we're hoping I need to build out another space so that I can just store my barrels and, empty bottles and things like that in.
Right.
But you don't need a ton of room to make a ton of booze, and so I've got 4 small stills, and I just run those things 4 days a week and crank out a bunch of different products.
Nice. And is it a lengthy cleaning process for all this kind of stuff? Since it's alcohol?
Yeah. Well, so the nice thing about it that's a little different from breweries is they have to have a sterile process, and with spirits, 45% alcohol is kind of sterile in by definition. So we of course we have a sanitary process, but on the fermentation side I don't have to go to such lengths that the brewers would have, because then I take that and run it through my still.
There we go.
And so it's like we try to keep everything clean and tidy, and do the things that we got to do, but yeah, it's not nearly as. I got some brewer friends who are jealous of. They got the smooth stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's a little different.
That's what's up. So we got lots to cover in a short amount of time. With that, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, dive into this chicken. Shout out Canes one more time, and we'll be right back. Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy Whetto, and I'm here with Chris with Dry Point Distilleries. Let's keep it moving. All right, man. So we've talked about your tools, your ingredients, all the different brandies, whiskey, gin, all kinds of different stuff you guys are making. So now you're also, shout out to Pickwick right next to us. You have distributing deals with them, and then Kelly's Liquor, a bunch of Toucan Market, a whole bunch of places. So how does that work out?
Well, so I got a craft distiller's license that lets me make this in the state of New Mexico, make different spirits, and then I got a wholesaler license that allows me to wholesale that stuff inside the state of New Mexico. And so with that, I can take my product and I can sell it to anybody who's got the license to buy it. So
Hell yeah.
right from the get-go, we hit up Pickwick, which is, awesome. Joe Hernandez and Oscar Andrade, they've been super supportive of our business, local business. And, and so that's been a really good deal. I think we're in almost every Pickwick in town, which is awesome. We move a lot of product through Pickwick's. And then Kelly Liquor, Toucans, of course, and got a couple bars in town as well. Unfortunately, some of them are closed still. But yeah, we kind of, since COVID hit, our bars shut down, and so we've really been forced to move out of the bar box and put more energy into the wholesale market.
Right.
Because you could always buy booze at Pickwick, but you couldn't get it in the bars. And so with that, we really pushed our distribution. So we're pushing down into Anthony and Sunland Park. We're going up towards Albuquerque. Ruidoso and Silver City are coming up soon. So we're trying to get a little bit more of a regional distribution. Kind of
Spreading it out a lot better.
Yeah,
man. That's super cool. And then it's all over New Mexico too. So that's homegrown here. And then are you moving out of the state yet?
Unfortunately, we're looking at some. It's a whole different licensing process for Texas, and El Paso would be a great place to get our stuff. There's a lot of Aggie fans who are looking for the 6-shooter that come up here. We got a lot of El Paso folks who come up to buy our, all of our different product lines up here. But, I think there's only one distillery in El Paso right now. And so I think, that's a right market. I'd love to share our New Mexico pride with Texas.
Hell yeah, that is such a cool bottle too, man.
Yeah.
The dope label, everything, and the whole presentation of what you got going on there makes it, I'm huge on visual. So that caught my eye, and then of course it says Pistol Pete on there. Shout out to all the NMSU alumni or students right now. So that's cool, man. And then do you have to pay royalties on that kind of thing, or?
Yeah. So the way this started was right at the beginning of the pandemic. My bar was shut down. All the Aggie sports were shut down. And Mario Mocha, the athletics director on campus, called me up and said, we're getting, we want to get an NMSU spirit. And so I directed him towards whiskey because that's, where my passion and my heart lies. And so we decided on this product, and, had a great graphic designer. This is the one graphic that my graphic designer did not come up with, but Randall did an amazing job. She's a great graphic designer.
Shout out to Randall one time.
Yeah, for sure. She did the 6-shooter, the 1888 bottle as well, or a can and bottle as well. So yeah, she did a great job on this, and it's great for us because we have the backing of NMSU kind of promoting this, and it's great for NMSU because they get 12% of every bottle we sell goes straight back to Aggie Athletics. They got 400 student athletes, and they're on rough times just like everybody else is. And so getting into the consumables game and trying to develop some alternative revenue streams, Mario had a really good idea there. And so
shout out to Mario one time, man. Man, you got a good head on your shoulders figuring it out. Hell yeah. So on the show, man, I like to toast to the success of what you got cooking, man. So this bottle is definitely owed to you. Let's see if we get a crazy mess with it. Hopefully not. But now, how are you? Cheers, my man. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Thanks.
So we'll pour this up. Now, as I pop bottle, I always like to ask, what does Do What I Want represent to you in your hustle, my man?
Well, we are supporting.
Okay, fuck it, here. I'll just give it right back.
We got into this because we like, drinking good booze, and so, our slogan is farm deliver. We try not to take ourselves too seriously.
Cheers to you, brother.
So it's just all about good times and having good products, and and an affordable product, something you're not going to break the bank on, and you can enjoy and really appreciate.
Oh, hell yeah. So cheers to you, and cheers to Dry Point Distillery.
Thanks. Good New Mexico product here.
Hell yeah, man. Now this one, so are you getting into the champagne too?
we're not gonna do anything, you know, with the sparkling wines. You know, you can't call it champagne unless it's made in Champagne, France. But the sparkling wines, we're not going into that game. But you know, I have Gruet in my shop. We do mimosas and all that stuff on Sundays and.
Bottomless mimosas?
So yeah, not quite bottomless.
Not yet.
There are rules.
Right, yeah, you got everything's good in moderation.
Yeah, it's not all do what I want, but but yeah, we have, you know, that's one of the products that we carry there because it's a New Mexico wine product, and so that's something that's allowed under my permit. So
hell yeah,
definitely Gruet's an excellent product.
Very tasty too at that. So now, my man, what do you have coming up next?
Well, you know, we're getting back into the bar. Tonight's the first night that we're actually open inside in a real long time.
Yeah, man.
And hoping that the case count continues to go down and we can continue having the bar open, because that's just the best way to interact with the people drinking our stuff.
Right.
You know, it's great when people buy it in the store, but if they want to come in and learn a little bit more about the process, they can see through the windows in the bar back into the distillery.
That's cool.
And so, you know, we got a bunch of fun stuff going on at the bar. Trivia nights happening right now. Hey. We got some music with Experience Mesilla Music Festival at the end of the month.
Okay.
So, you know, looking forward to getting back in the bar game for sure.
Most of it.
But yeah, just expanding our storage space so I can continue, you know, growing production, spreading around the.
And where are you guys located at?
We're down in Mesilla. So you know where it used to be St. Clair, now it's D.H. Lacombe, the winery. We're right across Avenue de Mesilla from that, and we're tucked back in this little, you know, kind of off the main drag, which I wish we had a little bit more visibility, but all my customers really like. It's nice and quiet. There's nobody else around.
In the cut, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of road noise or anything, so the folks that find us are happy.
They know what they're going there for, so that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Now, anybody that if they come and see you over there in Old Mesilla, and how can they find you online?
Our website is Dry Point Distillers in for NewMexico.com. Okay. And there we have a bunch of info about our history, what we're doing, our products. We got some menu stuff on there, but I'm really bad about updating that. But the best place I always tell people is they follow us on Instagram. Or Facebook, I guess, as well, because we put out our, you know, weekly specials. We put out what's going on that week, you know, what kind of food we're serving, what kind of cocktails we got, beer specials, wine specials, all that stuff. Hell
yeah. So just the whole, if you're ever trying to get you a good drink, you guys be sure to look them up on Instagram, and that's at Dry Point Distillery?
At Dry Point Distillers.
Distillers, don't put the Y on there. Yep. So we'll definitely be sure to put that in the video. It'll pop up right above our heads, actually. So I want to say thank you guys for watching us here on Whetto's World. Thank you, my man Chris.
Man.
Cheers to you.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
really,
man.
Yeah.
Go get you guys some of that 6-shooter. Go get you some of the gin, the brandy, the whole thing. That's a wrap here on Whetto's World, guys. Cheers.